Hi Flosstube. I am back again for my WIP parade. This is something I've been talking about in my last two videos and I'm finally got a chance to film it. And before I start, I want to say thank you for everyone who's watched my videos, commented, subscribed. It means so much to finally be out in the stitching community, getting to know other fellow stitchers and sharing in our passion together. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And so I am going to start with my WIP parade, and I have a lot of WIPs. So my current WIP count is 32 WIPs. Those are at least the ones I can show you. There's like, I think 2 or 3 that are models that I can't show you. And so I will start with the 32 WIPs now. I'll start from oldest and go to my most current WIPs. So my oldest WIP I started it in 2021, and it is the Linens and Threads, which is now Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sampler. Now this one I keep in a bag that I made myself. I've made most of my bags myself, or my mom's made my bags. But this one is, I think, French General fabric. So that one goes in this bag. And let me show you a picture of what the finished design looks like. And this one, it was available for free, but it's no longer available for free. But if you go to Fox and Rabbit's website, I'm sure you can purchase it on their website. So here's what the finished piece looks like, and I'll try to get that so the glare is not so bad. I'm sorry, I apologize with the glare. I need to figure out how to put like the pictures in the video. Maybe that's my next thing to learn, is how to do that. But that is what this one will look like finished. Now on this one, I chose all of my own colors for this one. And I kind of wanted to do kind of like sampler colors. And here is where I'm at on this one. Let me hold it back so you can see it. So yeah, pretty far, maybe about halfway. And you'll notice on the original design, there's a big medallion down here. And I saw someone on Instagram just finish it like this, and I really like that. So I kind of decided to finish mine without the big medallion on the bottom. But I have ways to go still for this one. I am a ways into it, but there's ways to go. And like I said, I picked out my own threads. And if you're interested in the colors I use, just message me and I can give you, it's all in DMC. It's in DMC, and the fabric I stitched it on, this is a 28 count wheat Lugana. So I gotta remember to tell you the threads and the fabric I stitched these on. So I have a few more blocks to go on this one. But this is my oldest WIP. My oldest WIP's from 2021, which isn't too bad. So there's that one. And I'm gonna, so I don't have a huge mess after my WIP parade, I'm gonna put these back in their bags that they go in. I have a pile of them all nicely ironed here, but I'm gonna put them back in their bags. So there's that one. My next oldest WIP, this one I keep in this bag that I made for myself. I'm not sure of the fabric. It's an old piece of fabric that I had in my stash. I thought it was like a cute little winter scene. And that one. And this one is Country Cottage Needleworks, their January sampler. I initially was going to do this whole series, and I had purchased this pattern. I think I have a pattern for February, and then I kind of fell off the wagon after that. And I'm not sure if I'll go back and do the series, or if I'll just kind of stop. January is my birthday month, so I figure, yeah, I'll at least do January and I'll have my birthday month done. Because it is a really, really cute series. I just don't know if I'll get back to it. There's that one, and I'll show you my progress in this. I need to just get back to this one and finish it because it's pretty quick stitch. This one it is on 14 count, Ada that I tea-dyed myself, and the threads are the called for DMC for the pattern. And there's what I have so far. I'm just gonna go do the last couple bands here. I wouldn't say I don't think I'm quite halfway on that one. But I'll probably finish that one, then I can put it out for my birthday month. I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if I'll go back and do the other ones in the series. I think I might have too many other WIPs that I want to work on instead. So there's that one. My next oldest WIP is a Hands Across the Sea. And this one I ordered, I got the little gem. So I will show you what it looks like. It's the Hands Across the Sea samplers, and it is Sarah Spencer. So this is what it will look like finish. That's what it'll look like finish. And this one I keep in this bag, which is this Blackwork Designs fabric. And this is one of the ones I think they recently re-released. So that's the bag I keep it in. And so this one I am stitching on 28 count ivory Lugana, 2/2. And here's where I'm at. I got a good portion of it done. And this one I'm using, I think, all of the called for, except I think for 1 or 2, I'm in the DMC. I think there's 1 or 2 that I didn't have in my stash at the time, so I subbed it in for a DMC color that was really close to what the called for was. So there's that one. I gotta learn back up so you can see the whole thing. So I have part of the border done and one of the motifs done. This one's lots of fun. I love working on samplers like this. I have a couple started. This is my only Hands Across the Sea, though. I need to get more of their designs I like. I think I could stitch everything by them, but I think that would take like 20 lifetimes to do all that. They're just gorgeous designs and samplers. They have such beautiful reproductions. So there is that one. And my next design that I started is huge. It is huge. I saw this pattern and I was just like, oh, I have to do this one. And so this one I keep in this bag. Has a skunk on it. And this is Tula Pink fabric. Her line work line, I love. That's that line that she put out. And this one is Heartstring Samplery. His eye is on the sparrow. And there's what it will look like finished. And I love like all the little motifs in this one and everything. It's beautiful. And here, let's see if I can hold this up and fit it on the camera. Here's where I have a very small start. I have, this is my start. Part of a peacock, one of the flowers on the border. And then I got a good portion of the border. You can see this is a huge piece of fabric. I am stitching this on 32 count vintage country mocha, so it has kind of that modeling on it, and it's a Lugana, and it's going to be huge on 32 count. But it's fun. It's one that I know will take me years to do, but it's just fun to get it out and work on it like little by little. I've been really trying to get that border to go all the way around just to make sure the border meets up. I always get a little paranoid about having the border meet up or getting all the way around and having it not meet up, especially on one this big. I really want to, hopefully I'll get that border to meet up this year. And then I think every time I like pick it up and work on it, what I'm going to do is I'll stitch one of the flowers on the border, and then I'll do like one of the motifs in the center, and then I'll stitch one of the flowers on the border, and then I'll go back and do like a little motif. So I kind of gradually will get that whole border filled in and motifs done in the middle. And that one I am doing out of the called for DMC. Here's my threads. Look at those colors. Aren't those colors just gorgeous? Kind of my knot of threads here. Hopefully you can see. So that is the called for DMC. And this one I have for WIP Go this year. And if you don't know what WIP Go is, it's kind of like a bingo board. And Jessie Marie does stuff. She's on YouTube and she's also on Instagram, is the kind of the creator of it. And if you want more information about it, go to her Instagram page, or she's got a couple of YouTube videos that explain it. And so WIP Go's like a bingo board, and basically you put your WIPs, your works in progress, on the board. You fit them in where you want to, and then you fit them in on the board wherever you want to for however many times you want to. And then each month 2 numbers are called, and those are your 2 focus pieces for that month, or you set goals for yourself of what you want to accomplish on that piece for that month. And so this year for WIP Go, rather than putting, because I have 32 WIPs, rather than trying to spread out all of my WIPs on the board, I chose to put my larger WIPs on there several times. So I know that I'll be able to, like, I think this, His eye on the sparrow is on there, I think 3 or 4 times, because I really wanted to get some progress going on some of my larger pieces. And how I do my WIP go boards is with each piece that I have on my WIP go board, when it is called, I need to work on it 5 days within that month. And I might get a couple stitches on it one day, or I might get several hours of stitching on it one day. As long as I touch that piece 5 days within that month, then I have accomplished that goal for WIP go. So that's why I'm really hoping with some of my larger pieces, if I work on them several months throughout the year, I'll get some good progress on them. So that is that one. My next WIP is housed in this project bag. And this was scrap fabric. I think I found it at a garage sale at some point. I have no idea who the designer is. I know it's probably at least over 10 years old. I've had it in my stash for a while. And I make these little macrame keychains for my project bag too. I know Lori Holt's daughter makes them. She has a different pattern that she does. This is just a different macrame keychain pattern I found on YouTube, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the video or anything of who, but there's lots of tutorials on YouTube of how to do these, so they're fun to do. So there's that project bag. And in this project bag, this one I printed out the pattern, but I didn't print out the cover sheet for this pattern, so I need to grab it. This pattern is 2020 Pandemic Sampler. Again, so sorry about the glare. By Sarcy Girl. And you can find, this is actually a free pattern that she has on her Instagram page. And again, it's Sarcy Girl. If you zoom in on here, you can see how it's spelled. And I think she just asked that you donate some money to some charity to get the pattern. But it's a gorgeous pattern. It's so gorgeous. And the colors she chose for this is just, they're stunning. So this one, I am stitching. This was my very first design that I stitched, my very first time stitching on linen. So this is, and I chose a 36 count linen for this one. And this is on, it's a smoke blue by Zweigart. So it has kind of a smoky blue look to it. It's not as bright. I think the smoke blue part of it just kind of tones down the blue tone. But this is what I have so far on this one. I do have the border all the way around, and it matches up. So that was good. It matches up. And I started this one. Emily C is another YouTuber, and I watch her YouTube. I think I've seen all of her YouTube videos, and she did this as her birthday start, I think in 2021. I think her birthday was in March. She did like a March 1st start. Sometime in March was her birthday, but I started this with her birthday start for that year. And so I was really excited to start it on my first time stitching on linen and trying out linen, and it's been fun. All of these I'm gonna say I need to make more progress on these. I'll probably say that all of them. Ooh, and let me show you the colors for this one. And this one I'm using the called for DMC. I apologize if I forget to tell you floss or fabric for any of these, but here are my colors. And they are just, the called for is just these gorgeous colors. And on this blue, smoke blue linen, they just pop. Hopefully the camera and the lighting's picking, it's a cloudy day here, so hopefully the lighting is picking that up well. I feel like this winter, there's been a lot more cloudy days than sunny days this winter. It's been a pretty cloudy, dreary winter here in the Midwest, at least in Nebraska where I live. So that's Pandemic Sampler. My next one is, I purchased all 4 of these, let me show you. Before I get ahead of myself, I'll show you the project bag first. This is a project bag my mom made me. Just kind of an Easter spring project bag. And this pattern is Prairie Schooler. Spring has come. And like I said, I purchased all 4 of these patterns. She has 4 of them like this, where you have like the little sampler and then you have like this 4 square. So I purchased all 4, and my thought for 2021 was I was going to start each of these on the first day of that season. So like this one, I started on the first day of spring in 2021. So there is, hopefully I'm holding these up long enough for you to see too. There's that one, and my progress so far on this one. This is how far I am. And this, Of the 4, I've gotten the farthest on this one. My other ones they're kind of sad starts. But this one I got the farthest. And these ones are so, like prairie schooler patterns, I'm finding are so much fun to stitch. And this one is on 32 count lamb's wool Lugana by Zweigart. And it's the called for DMC floss. Sorry, I had to think about it for a minute. The called for DMC floss on that. And these ones are just super cute. I like the little bunny, and you got the little bird. That's that one. And so in the same bag, I'll show you both of them at the same time since I have these 2 are stored in the same bag, because the floss on these patterns, a lot of them, the floss is like repeated on both of them. So I just kind of put all the floss together for both of them. But I have the summer one in this bag as well. But I started this one the first day of summer in 2021. And so that's what that one looks like. And now you'll see I have not gotten as far on this one. And here's what I have. And this one is also stitched on 32 count lamb's wool Lugana. See? Oh, not too far. I need to work on these more this year as part of my seasonal stitching. Here's where I'm at on that one. And I also, once I get these ones done, I plan to do like the little 4 square ones that go with the patterns as well. I have the fabric already cut and ready to go for those. Not till I get these ones done though. I can't start them till I get these ones done. Sorry, I just want to put everything away so I don't have a huge mess when I'm done. I probably still have a little bit of a mess, but I don't want a huge mess. So that was those 2. And then my next start I had, this one is a free pattern you can find on Heartstring Samplery's website. So if you go to her website, she's got, I think, a little section where it's free patterns, and you can find it on her website. And I just have a digital picture of this one. I do have the chart printed off, but I don't want to show you the full chart. So here's what it will look like. There you go. And this one is called Earth Day Sampler. And this one I started on Earth Day in 2021, if I get my years right. And that is what it will look like when it's done. And this one, I love what it says. It says, "We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children." And I just love that sentiment because it is so true. That's why we got to take care of our earth. So here is my progress on this one. Small start. I feel like all my stuff is a small start. I'm excited to get some more work on this one this year. And I will show you. These are the colors. Those are the colors, and it's the called for DMC with the pattern. Called for DMC, and then the fabric is, let me look. The fabric is 28 count ice blue Lugana. I like to stitch on Lugana, so a lot of my pieces are. So that's my start on that one. And again, that was Earth Day Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. Oh, and I didn't show you the bag. This one's also in a Tula Pink line work bag. And my next piece that I started was another stitch along. This one was the Allison in Wonderland by Owl Force Embroidery. And this one is in another line work Tula Pink bag. I had got like a fat quarter bundle of these and just made a whole bunch of project bags out of it because I love it. That one's in this bag. And let me show you, this one again is a digital pattern, so let me show you what it will look like. Here's what it will look like. Oop, there we go. And here is what I have started. I think I have the first 2 clues done. This one came out as like a mystery stitch along. So I have the first, well, I think maybe I have a little bit more to go on the second clue, but it's almost done. And this one was called for my WIP Go this month, so hopefully I'll get some good work on it. The month's already half over, but hopefully the last half of the month I'll be able to work on it. And this one I am stitching on 40 count Woodland linen by Zweigart. I just like this deep like brown color. And then my floss for it is, they had 2 different floss options with the pattern. You could do a colorful version, or you could do a 3-color version. And so I chose to do the 3-color version. And you could use L4 embroidery. They do hand-dyed flosses. You could use their floss, or they had a DMC conversion, so I used their DMC conversion. So just 3 colors of DMC: a red, a cream, and a brown. And I thought the 3-color version was kind of fun. So that's that one. Again, start. I think I'm definitely more of a process stitcher. I love starting different projects on different fabrics, different flosses. I use a lot of DMC. I can't really, overdyes aren't always in my budget for cross stitching, but when I can use them, that's great, I will. A lot of DMC, and so I'm more of a process stitcher. I like to just work on projects little by little, and sometimes I almost think like I like to just take my time with projects because I want it to kind of last. I don't want to just hurry up and get it done. I want to just kind of savor working on that project and working on it little by little. So my next WIP is in this project bag, and this one my mom made for me. It's a nice fall project bag. Gives you some clues as to what's in here. And this is from this book by Blackwork Designs called Winds of Autumn. Called Winds of Autumn. And I love all the designs in this book. Are just gorgeous. Of course, it's Blackwork Designs. And I am doing, let me find the photo for you, Mighty Acorn, which this is what it will look like when it's finished. Let's see if I can get it without too much of a glare on it so you can see. I just love the big house. And squirrels and acorns. And again, I love fall stitching, so it's very beautiful. And this one I am stitching on 28 count Vintage Country Mocha Lugana. And this is where I'm at. And I'm using the called for DMC for this one. A ways to go, but I got the border going. I got the border all the way around. This one's been super fun to stitch, and that border was really fun to stitch. I have the leaves, I gotta fill in the leaves, and then I have the big house at the bottom and the tree. And the words. But it's so pretty, and the colors, let me pull out the colors for you. Of course, Blackbird colors, they're gorgeous. And like I said, it's the called for DMC, but look, oh, those colors are so pretty. So pretty. And I have one more kitted up to start from this book, so hopefully I'll maybe get that started in the fall of this year. I think I want to like eventually stitch all of the designs in the book. And I think this year they released another book that had a lot of fall designs in it that I need to get so I can stitch more. And after that one, I started, this one is in this project bag. And this one is a 2020 mystery sampler by Fox and Rabbit Designs. And this one, I think you can no longer get it for free, but if you go to Fox and Rabbit's website, you can find it, I think, to purchase on their website. And this one is digital, so I'll show you what it will look like when it's done. So it's a Quaker style. Really pretty. So that's what it will look like when it's done. And here's what I have started so far. There's my start. And this one is stitched on 36 count agave linen by Zweigart. And I'm just doing this in white DMC. I'm not sure, I think this one, I'll do all of the Quaker motifs in white DMC, but then it also has initials in between, and I'll do initials from people in my family, but I might do those in a different color because I've seen some people on Instagram do the actual initials in between in a different color. But we'll see once I get I'll probably stitch, sorry, you're not getting seasick with me moving that so much. But hopefully I'll stitch all of the Quaker designs first, and then I'll kind of decide what initials I want to, whose initials I would like to put in, and if I want to do them in a different color, if I want to stay the whole thing monochromatic and white. I'll have to make that decision when I get there. And this one was also called for my WIP Go this month, so hopefully I'll get some progress on it. And so my next WIP is in this bag, and this is one that I made myself, and I think this fabric I found at a garage sale too. It almost has kind of like a sheen to it. For this one, I think I like the rich colors of it. The color is pretty. And so this one is another freebie from Heartstring Samplery. And again, if you go to her website, you can find, she's I think got like a little drop down menu with a whole section of her freebies. And this one is an actual reproduction of an antique sampler that she did. And let me find, again, this pattern. I have it on here digitally. I went to her blog and I found the actual picture of the antique sampler, so you can see what it will look like. And that's the actual antique. So that is what it will look like. And this is where I'm at. And for this one, she was very faithful in picking her colors from what the actual antique was. Probably on the back, they were really bright colors. I kind of, for me, I dulled the colors down a little bit and did my own DMC conversion for it. And I'll show you. Okay, I'll show you. I have these little cards in all of my project bags, and it just has like the basic info. It has the designer's name on it, where I got the pattern, and then it has like the size, it has the DMC or whatever thread I've used, and it also has the fabric I use on it. So it's kind of my little, how I keep track, and it has the start date that I started it. So it's kind of how I keep track of what goes in each bag and all my information for that one. So this one is on 36 count Dusty Road by Seraphim, sorry. And it just has this beautiful modeling to it. And my floss for this one, I'll show you my floss. And some of these are called for, but some of the brighter, there's like a bright yellow, and some of the brighter, I think there's like a bright pink too. I kind of just toned them down a bit, just so there, but there's my floss for that one. So I'm excited to get some more progress done on this one as well. Probably say that about everything. And this one is on my WIP Go, I think, a couple times too this year. So hopefully I'll get some good progress. And I try to participate in when they do Sampler September and different stitch alongs like that. I'll pull out my samplers and work on them during those months, just so I make sure I'm getting some progress on those throughout the year. So there's that one. My next WIP is one that I started. They started it as a stitch along. I did not keep up with the stitch along. This one is Sew by Row by Lori Holt. And I've been a quilter for over 20 years now. So since I was little, I thought this piece would be cute to hang up in my sewing area. You know, I haven't done a lot of quilting since I've had kids. Finding the time to sit down at the sewing machine for hours to quilt, it just doesn't happen anymore. It's just easier with, you know, cross stitching. I can pick it up for 15 minutes, 20 minutes here, and work on it little by little. But I thought this piece was really cute. I love the colors. I love the pink frame that it's finished in too. So there's that. And this one I am using all of the called for DMC. And I am stitching, here's my start. 2 scissors. Long ways to go, but this one is really fun. I'm stitching this one on 25 count white Lugana, and it's really fun to stitch. And here are the called for colors that are in the pattern. They're really fun, pretty, bright colors. I love the colors that Lori Holt picks, her color palette, just really pretty. So there's that one, and that's Sew by Row. I think I had that one on my WIP Go, I think one time. A couple of them I only did one time just because I wanted to make sure I worked on them within this year. And so I think I put that one on there one time. My next one is Little Women, and this was designed by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and she has her shop on Etsy, and then she also does something called Stitching Book Club. Sorry, I'm trying to find, this is another digital pattern, so I'm trying to find the cover page for you. And so this is part of Stitching Book Club, and I did, there we go. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. And I did start this one when they did it with Stitching Book Club. I think they started it in 2021. So there's what it will look like finished. And I did it as a mystery stitch along, so each part came out and you would stitch little by little. And here is where I am at. So here's Little Women. And this one I think I'm using most of the called for DMC. I think there was a few colors I didn't have in my stash, so I just substituted in a couple different colors that were really close. And this one I'm keeping in. My mom made me this bag. And I am stitching this one on, let me check my little card, 28 count lamb's wool, Lagana. And here are my flosses for that one. And her patterns are fun to stitch when you stitch them along when she does the Stitching Book Club stitch alongs. I think they're doing Jane Eyre right now, which I love that book. And she puts out part of the pattern, and then she has like discussion questions on Instagram. So you can go on Instagram and be part of the discussion of the book, and she has you read certain portions of the book as you're stitching the pattern. So it's really fun to participate in those and do those. My next WIP is in this bag, which is a patriotic bag. I don't do a lot of patriotic stitching. This is probably my only patriotic piece I've ever stitched, but I had to stitch it because it was by one of my all-time favorite designers. And that would be Barbara Anna. I love her designs. I think I could stitch anything. Everything she designs I want to stitch. And this one was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I think, let me see, it was their 2020 summer issue. And it is Patriotic ABC. There it is. Just thought it was so good. I like the eagle. And here's where I'm at on this one. Let me look and see. This one I am stitching for, I think I have all of the called for DMC, except like I think there was a couple that I substituted in with something that was really close because I didn't have everything in my stash. It's stitched on 28 count light ash Lugana. I kind of contemplated like maybe not doing like the blue background and the stripes and just doing like the eagle in the middle, but then I started stitching the alphabet and like you can't really see it that much, so I think if I do the blue it'll make the alphabet pop out, so I think I'll stitch it. I'll stitch the blue and the stripes. So there's where I'm at on that one. And my next, I'm getting quite the pile over there. My next pattern, or WIP that I have, is in this bag, which my mom made for me. Cute little Valentine's Day dogs. It's not a Valentine's Day WIP though. And this one was a freebie that I found on Modern Folk Embroidery's website. And here's what it looks like. It's called Light. And it says, "It's better to light a single candle than to curse the darkness." And I just really liked that saying. So that's what it will look like finished. Here is my piece. I am stitching this on 36 count linen. It's a mystery linen. I don't remember what the color is. And this one I kind of got blocked on. I had stitched over here, it's like a stitch off. So I don't know if you can tell, you probably can't even tell, but it's like a stitch, I think up too high or down too low. And so I kind of got frustrated with it and had to put it down because I'm not sure if I'm just gonna leave it and let it go or if I need to just unpick it and redo it. I think I need to decide if it's gonna bother me or if it's not gonna bother me. And this one I am stitching, I wanted to try stitching with anchor floss. So I'm just stitching this in anchor black. I wanted to see how anchor floss works on the spool, and it's fun to stitch it from the spool. So there's that piece. And then another freebie I have in this bag, I don't have an actual picture of this one. It is from, you can get it on Lottie Da's website. I'm gonna hold it back. I'm gonna hold it up real fast and I'll put it down because all I have is the chart right there. You can get the freebie on her website. It is called Freebie 12 is what it's called, and you can find it on her website. And this one I am stitching again on a 36 count mystery linen. I'm not sure what this linen is. I'm stitching it in DMC 3777, and it is basically the 1, 2, buckle my shoe, 3, 4, shut the door. When my daughter was learning how to count, she would always sing this rhyme to count. So I'm like, I need it. I think I'll stitch this little, make it into like a little pincushion pillow when I'm done with it. And again, it's a small one. I should just sit down and finish it. But there's so many other designs to work on and that you see and starts to do. So there's that one. And again, that was from Lottie Da, and it's a freebie you can find on their website. My next piece, I'm sorry, I'm trying to look down. I have them all listed out down here on a piece of paper. I'm trying to make sure I'm not skipping any. This one is in a bag that I made myself out of Charlie Brown Christmas fabric. And this piece is another freebie you can find. I know for a while Fat Quarter Shop, I'm not sure, I probably should check and see, had this, you could find it under, they have a free pattern section on their website, and this was under there. If not, I think you can find this on Aurifil Threads blog. If you scroll through, you really have to scroll through because this came out a while ago. You can find it for the free pattern on their blog. And this one is Little Quaker Christmas. I'm gonna flash it, it's a chart, so I'm just gonna flash it real fast. Little Quaker Christmas, it came out, it's by Susan Aki. And there's the chart. Real fast. And this one, they called for colors that are Aurifil Threads, but I picked out my own DMC colors and that's what I'm using for it. And here is where I'm at on this one. And this one I am stitching on, I went to Joann and they had a Joann brand even weave, and that's what I'm stitching it on. It's not my most favorite fabric, I would say, and as you can see, it's very uneven. It's kind of, the blocks or the threads are elongated, but I think it'll be kind of interesting. I think I'm gonna finish this one and I'm gonna make it into a Christmas pillow, like a quilted Christmas pillow, and I think that'll look cool. And here's the colors that I'm using for this one. I think I have a couple different reds, pink, and then a couple different greens. I'm just kind of interspersing them throughout. I'm having fun stitching it though. I think that's what counts. As long as you're having fun stitching it and you enjoy stitching it, it's not just like, this one makes me really frustrated. I think that's worth it. My next WIP is, this is my Barbara Anna bag. So I keep not all of my Barbara Anna WIPs, but it's a couple of my Barbara Anna WIPs in here. And this is Allison glass fabric, and I loved it because it looks like cross stitching. It's a line I think she came out with a couple of years ago. And this, the first one I have two that are in this bag, started right now. I have a couple kitted up that I'm not gonna start yet till I get a couple of these done. This one is a freebie you can find on Barbara Anna's Instagram page. It's called The Key. And here's what the finished piece will look like. I love animals and clothes and dresses, and Barbara has some really cute animals and dresses. And she's holding a key. She's like Barbara Anna's signature is the key. And here is where I'm at on it. I still have my thread in here. I'm working on filling in her dress down here, but I have the whole top done. And this one I did my own DMC conversion for. I just pulled from stash colors that I thought would look pretty on this fabric and that coordinated together. And I know, there you go, you get kind of a better, she wasn't showing up too well in there, but now you can kind of see. And this one, let me look and see what fabric I'm stitching it on. I'll get my little card here. This is on 28 count wheat Lugana. And then the other Barbara Anna design I have stored in this bag is from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, their spring 2020 issue, and it is called Spring in My Heart. And that is what it will look like finished. So cute. I love the little houses and the key and the heart. And this one, here's what I have started. I think I did this one part of March Madness, so got a very small start. I got the big key done. And that blue shows up a lot better in person. So I'm hoping to get some of these smaller Barbara Anna ones done this year. This one is stitched on 28 count light ash Lugana. I'm using, I think, most of the called for DMCs. I think there's one or two I didn't have, so I substituted them. I try to pull from my stash as much as I can. And I inherited my grandmother's DMC stash that she had. So I was lucky enough to get that, so I try to use it as much as I can and pull from it. My next WIP is in this bag. Again, Tula Pink line work. Got all those little pandas. I love the animals that she includes in her designs, how they just kind of peek out and pop out at you. They're so cool. I think her newest fabric line coming out has like witches on it. It looks really cool. This one is called Desert Dawn by Carolyn Manning Designs. And again, I didn't print off the cover page of this one, so I'll show you the cover page. To save ink on my printer, a lot of times I don't print off the cover pages, I just print off the chart. Here's the cover page. This is what the colors of this one will look like. And I love her color combinations. They're just gorgeous. So that's what it'll look like. This one I actually have a page finish on, which is kind of exciting. My first page finish. And here is what I have. And this one I am stitching on 18 count fiddler's cloth. I think that's like a DMC Charles Craft fabric. That's what I have. Those colors are just so pretty. And here are the colors. I think these ones are so much fun to do. It's hard to get bored with these ones. It's not a lot of counting because once you get it started, like all the blocks are the same size, so you don't have to count that much, but it's exciting because you get to use so many different colors. So you're always like pulling another color and be like, ooh, this is a pretty color, and then you get stitched with that, and it's fun to see how they kind of play together. So there's that one. Her Shooting Star series she's got a lot that I want to stitch. A lot of different color combinations that I want to stitch. I have two started. This one I'm the farthest on. And this stitching, I love the Shooting Star series. Stitching on it, this is like my travel piece. I just pull this bag whenever I go anywhere. It's just easy, comfort stitching. You don't have to count that much, so it's a fun travel piece. My next WIP is my other two Prairie Schoolers I started in 2021. First one is Autumn Leaves by the Prairie Schooler. And this one, I think I started on the first day of autumn in 2021. I know the winter one, I kind of missed the first day of winter by a week because you got busy with something and I just didn't get to it. So there's that one, and here is my sad start. Just that, the top border, that's it. I need to definitely get to these this year and work on it more. It's part of my seasonal stitching. This year I laid out all my WIPs this year, and I went through and I made a list of these are my spring ones that I want to work on in spring. These are my summer ones that I want to work on in summer. These are my fall ones that I want to make sure I touch and work on in fall. So this is on my list for fall. I can hold up. And this one is stitched on. Let me look and see. A little paper here. It is 32 count taupe Lugana. So I wanted to do the fall and the winter one on a bit of a darker color, whereas the spring and summer ones I'm doing on the lamb's wool, so it's lighter. Then I will show you, since they're both stored in the same bag. In this bag, here's my bag. I forgot to show you the bag. It's one that I made myself out of Charlie Brown Christmas fabric that I had. And here's what the winter one will look like when it's finished. Try to get that so I don't have, hopefully I don't have too bad of a glare on these for you. It's called Winter Winds. Here's what that one, and here's my start on this one. Very small start. In the process of filling in that top box. And on these, I'm using all the called for DMC. And this one's on the same 32 count taupe Lugana. So there's that one. And so my next one was my New Year's Eve start for 2021. So this one, even though I started it December 31st, 2021, it feels like a 2022 start. And this one is a big one, a big one. It's Long Dog Sampler's Life After Death. And that is what it will look like. I just love the details in her designs. I think they're so much fun to stitch. I think as you're stitching it, you see things that you don't notice just like looking at this picture, like, oh, there's a little bird there. Oh, there's a cute little heart there. And this one I loved. I think what drew me to this one the most was the whale and all the different animals. I just thought they were so cool. So here is where I'm at on this one. I've picked this one up several times. I am having a lot of fun working on this one. That is where I'm at. I think I almost have a page finished on this one. I'm pretty close to it. But look at that little bird in the corner. That's just so cool. It's just fun, the detail and the design. And so this one I am stitching on Old Stationery by Seraphim. It's an 18 count Ada. I thought if I'd stitch this one on like linen or Lugana, it would take me, I would never get it done. So I'm like, okay, I can do Ada. And it's, the modeling on this one is beautiful. And like, I'll open the, this is how big it's gonna be. It's gonna be huge. But again, I'm more of a process stitcher, and I'm really just enjoying the stitching. And that's what it's about, right? What brings you joy and what you enjoy. And so I will definitely be pulling this one out throughout this year and working on it. Oh, and this bag is more Tula Pink fabric. Can you tell who my favorite fabric designer is? And this Tula Pink fabric is, oh, I don't remember the name of the line, but it was like a line she did where it's kind of like sewing fabric. And like you can see scissors up here. I made that bag. My next one was my birthday start for 2022. And this one is also in Tula Pink line work fabric in a bag that I made myself. Gotta love those little peacocks there. This one is, and this one I have digitally because it was in a magazine several years ago. It's Queen Anne's Lace by Nora Corbett. And I love her fairy series that she has that are flowers too. They're so pretty. And this is my start. And I'm using all the called for DMC. And this one is also on 28 count light ash Lugana. Got a little bit of her skirt done. I need to work on this one some more this year. So there's that one. And I haven't done beading or anything like that yet, so I think I'm kind of a little bit scared to do the beading, but I'm sure there's probably great tutorials out there, great videos on how to do it, what needles to use. I just need to watch them, but I'm a long ways off from getting to the point where I need to do beading. So I think I have some time. My next start for this, now we're into my 2022 starts. So my next start for 2022, I keep in this bag that I made. And I've had this fabric. I've had it for a long time. Cute little dogs and Halloween costumes. The pug on the move. And this one is, I got this pattern. She has a shop on Etsy, if I can talk. She has a shop on Etsy. And this I started for Stitch for Ukraine. And it's by Stitchy Princess Black. And here's what it looks like. It's called the Acorn Fairy. And she's got so many cute patterns in her Etsy shop. And she was just in the January issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine. She had a design in there that was super cute. So check her out. And here is where I'm at with this one. And this one I think I'm using most of the called for DMC. I got part of the border done. And this is, I'm stitching on a 14 count gray Ada. I'd like to get this one done this year. That's where I'm at on that one. Her designs are fun. I like them. So my next start for, now we're into 2022. This one is in another Tula Pink line work bag. Line work fabric that I made. And this one is After the Rain by Hello from Liz Matthews. And I thought what was fun about this one is when she released this pattern, she had a bunch of different Flosstubers and Instagrammers pick out different color palettes. And so that kind of inspired me, like, oh, you know, I can go through my DMC floss stash and pick out my own color palette. And so that's what I did. And this one I am stitching on 25 count white Lugana. And here's where I'm at with it. And I'm not gonna stitch all of the rainbows. I think I'm gonna do 3 by 3, so it makes like a nice little square. And I'll just do 3 by 3, so 9 rainbows total. I have 3 done, 6 more to go. And I will show you my floss. I just picked out a whole bunch of bright colors for this one. And this one, my floss, I try to make most of my thread keepers. And these ones I made out of the paint samples that you get. We were gonna paint a couple of our rooms at our house. We obviously didn't choose these bright colors, but we had picked up paint samples and thought rather than tossing them, I need to use them for something. So I made thread keepers out of them. So this one I try to choose bright colors. And this one I think I'm gonna make, and then I'll hang it up in my daughter's room when I get it done. And she likes lots of bright colors. Then my next design, I did kind of as like a 2022 summer start. I wanted something kind of summery. And so I put it in this bag that has the rainbow fish. My mom made this bag for me. It's rainbow fish and sparkly. And this one I have the digital pattern for too, so let me bring up my picture of it. This one is called Seaside. It is by Emma Congdon of Stitchrovia. And you can find it, this one pattern's on her Etsy shop. Or in her Etsy shop. And I love nautical theme pieces. And I like this one too because it was just shades of blue. I thought that was so much fun. So here's my start on this one. And I am stitching this on 18 count fiddler's cloth. And it's fun to stitch with the different shades of blue and just kind of seeing the design come out as you stitch it. I think this will be kind of a piece that I work on in the summertime. It's fun summer stitching. And I like the fiddler's cloth, kind of reminded me of like sand, kind of speckly sand. So there's that piece. Okay, I only have a few more left. We're almost there. Thank you for sticking with me this long. Hopefully I'm not stressing anybody out by the amount of WIPs I have. I know that will stress some people out, and other people are like, oh, you don't have that many, you're fine. But like I said, do what you love and what works for you. If this stresses you out, don't have that many WIPs. Do what brings you joy. So my next one I have in this bag with this Heather Ross fabric, and this bag that I made. All my bags I've made myself, or my mom's made this one. And this is Dark Queen of the Earth. And let me show you where they're at right now. I am not up to where they're at. I'm a bit behind, but that is okay. So this is what part of the this is a mystery stitch along from Autumn Lane Stitchery, and each month you get a portion of the pattern, and this is where they're at right now. I love this one. It's so pretty and so cool. And it's exciting to see where it's gonna go. So that is where they're at now. Here's where I am at. This is where I'm at. That's what I have. I think I'm still finishing up Clue 2. And this I am stitching on a piece of 28 count. It was white Lugana, but I I don't think I did coffee with it. I just tea-dyed this one. And I really love how the modeling turned out on this Lugana. I thought it turned out pretty cool. But that is where I'm at. And this one has a bunch of colors, but they're all super cool, and I'm excited to see. Here's my floss ring. See all of those beautiful colors. And you can see them up against the fabric here. See if I can hold all this up here. I'm still learning how to okay, can you see it? All those pretty colors. So it'll be fun to see where all those colors work out in the design as the clues come out each month. I think this one finishes up in September of this year. It will be when the last clue comes out. I probably won't have it done by then, but hopefully I'll be farther along than this. Because I've been having so much fun stitching. It's just fun blocks of color, and to see where the colors go and how they work together. It's turning out really cool. So my next stitch is in this project bag, and this one my mom made me for Christmas. It's a piece of reclaimed embroidery. And this one, I'm not always the biggest fan of cutting apart pieces of reclaimed embroidery. But this one, the other half of it there was moth holes chewed in it. It had lots of stains. The edges were super frayed, and it was probably going to be in the trash until my mom said, no, I'll do something out of it. So she saved it. So there's that. And this one is another of Carolyn Manning's Shooting Star series, and it's called Bohemian Bliss. And I started it right after Christmas of 2022, so it's a recent start. And this one, again, I fell in love with those colors. They're just so pretty. And I feel like doing these designs gives you a chance to use colors that you wouldn't always use in other designs. I feel like I stitch a lot of kind of primitive antique sampler type things. I know I have other things in here too. I like to stitch, well, I like to stitch pretty much everything. The only thing I have not tried yet, I'm very afraid to try, is a Haid, a full coverage piece. I feel like I would enjoy stitching something like that, and I would start it, but I feel like I would probably never finish it. So I'm afraid to start something like that, because they are gorgeous, and watching the YouTubers out there who are full coverage stitchers, I love watching those videos and just seeing them, but I'm very afraid to start something like that. But I'll watch other people stitch it. It's gorgeous seeing the progress in people stitching. Okay, anyways, this one's Bohemian Bliss by Carolyn Manning Designs. Now I'm just rambling and getting off track. And here is my progress on this one. Small start. And this one I am stitching on the same fabric I was stitching my other Carolyn Manning Designs one on. It is a piece of 18 count fiddler's cloth. I wanted both of them to finish the same size so I could frame them, and hopefully I'll do more of these and I can put them all on a wall and they'll all be the same size. So there's that one, and here are the colors. These colors are just gorgeous. So pretty. That's what I said about, like, sometimes this colors that you like, this purple, like I love purple's my favorite color, but I don't know if I'd ever like stitch a design with like this bright purple in it, but it's super pretty to stitch in this. It's fun. I feel like you get kind of introduced to colors that you wouldn't regularly stitch with, which is lots of fun. So there's that one. Trying to be so good and putting these all back nicely folded in their project bags so I won't have so much of a mess when I'm done. Although you should see the pile of project bags sitting over here. It's like, okay, I have two more to go. So my next two, first one I'm going to show you is a start that I did it was my New Year's Eve start for this year. And it wasn't a planned, well, it was planned the day before New Year's Eve, but it wasn't like a start that I had anticipated doing until I saw somebody starting out on Instagram and I was like, ooh, I want to try that. I want to do that. And this one is a Blackwork stitch along by the Steady Thread. Hopefully you can see that. And she released the frame probably mid-December, so you could stitch the frame, and then each week in 2023 she is releasing one of the designs that will go in one of these hexagons here. So I have this one part of the way started, and I will show you where I'm at. Here I am on this one. And this one I'm stitching on an 18 count white Ada, and I'm stitching it in black, and then my red accents are DMC 3777. So here's that one, and my plan on this one is I'm gonna stitch part of the frame each time I get it out to stitch it every week. I'll stitch a little bit of the frame, then I'll stitch my block for that week. And so hopefully by the end of the year I will have it completely done. So there's that one. Again, that's by the Steady Thread. It is a free stitch along. You just need to get onto her Facebook group to find it, the Steady Thread. There's that one. And then I have one more WIP to show you. This one is in this French General project bag that I made. And here is the pattern. It is Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery, this year's stitch along, 2023 stitch along. And I will show you where I am at on this one. I have part of January done. On this one I picked out two different shades of blue that I'm going to use of DMC for this one. And I can tell you those colors too. And this one I am stitching on a 36 count parchment by Weeks Dye Works. So 36 count parchment. And that is my start. And all those DMC colors that I'm using are, let me pull them out of my bag here. I'm using 3768 as my dark color, and then 927 as my light color of DMC. I think I'm just going to use these two colors. I initially had 4 different shades of blue picked out, but after starting to stitch, I really like how these two are going together. And so there's that on my parchment. I like how they pop on the fabric. So there's that one. Sorry, you can kind of hear my husband in the background. That's okay. This is my very last WIP. So that is my WIP parade. Those are all the WIPs I have started. I have new starts planned for 2023. Hopefully I'll get into some of those within my next couple of videos. But thank you so much for watching this vlog. I know that's a lot of WIPs, and hopefully I didn't cause anyone stress by watching all those WIPs in my starts. But I have so much fun cross-stitching and so much fun being a part of this community. So thanks for the comments, thanks for subscribing to my videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!